Coming up on the Saturday Scouting Report, the Santiago, Centennial, and Upland football teams gathered to raise money and lend support to Jordan Walker and his family as the Huskies took on the Scots in a semifinal playoff game. Colton Gerhardt celebrates his Norco homecoming by leading the Broncos to a blowout win. Heritage is headed to the Central Division Finals after beating Colony. And the Rancho Verde also punched its ticket, knocking off defending champion Kaiser. Vista upset his San Gorgonio, and Citrus Hill put the squeeze on Moreno Valley in the Eastern Semifinals. And Jurupa Hills used a touchdown in the final seconds to win by 1 in the East Valley Division semifinal contest. All that coming up on the Saturday Scouting Report, brought to you by Hardy Homes and Estates. When you list with Hardy, start packing. Check out the website, askhardy.com. Well, it's time to play for CIF rings. Things are looking up because the show starts now.
Heritage loves high school game time. Here's Pep!
A big shout out to the Heritage High School cheerleaders for getting the show started. I'm Pep Fernandez, and thanks for watching. Members of the Upland, Centennial, and Santiago football teams gathered on Friday night, all in support of Jordan Walker. Prior to kickoff between the Scots and the Huskies semifinal game, members of all three teams gathered on the field for a pregame prayer, and players also wore the number 55, Jordan's number, on their helmets, and donations were accepted. Walker remains in the hospital with a spine injury.
This is one of those life moments that you really find out the kind of brotherhood you have and the kind of family atmosphere you have.
We have more on Jordan Walker here at HS Game Time. Now to the game, Centennial meeting Upland in the Inland Division semifinals. We pick things up in the first quarter, no score. Robert Weber, the quarterback for Centennial, fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Upland's Cameron Powell, who scoops it up, runs it back for the touchdown, and Upland is on the board first, leading 7-zip. But later in the first quarter, it's beats by Trey Watson, 20 yards on the touchdown run, and we are all tied at 7 apiece, and this game was far from being over. Later, J.J. Taylor, the sophomore, hey, get to know me, 47 yards on the touchdown run. Centennial goes up 13-7. Back come the Scots. Quarterback Tyler Helensky finding Malik Yoakum here, and Upland takes the lead 14-13. Trey Watson had a monster game, over 500 yards on the ground, a new inland record. He goes in for the touchdown here, and Centennial leads 20-14. Now we move to the second quarter. Watson going 92 yards on this touchdown run. He broke Centennial's single-season rushing mark on that play right there. And Centennial goes on top 27-14. Still in the second, Helensky finding Marquise Wimberly, and he will do the rest, 70 yards for the touchdown, and it was a 27-21 ball game at that point. Later in the second, 47 yards to Grayson Bankhead. The two-point conversion was good, and Centennial led 35-21. Later in the second, and this was all coming in the second quarter, a lot of scoring in this one. Weber, 72 yards on the quarterback keeper. He goes in for the touchdown, and Centennial led by 20, 41-21. Upland would strike back. Helensky, 14 yards to Trevor Wright. All right. 41-28. Centennial still on top. Quarterback Robert Weber, ya boy Webb, 64 yards to Barry Ware. Centennial puts up over 900 yards of total offense, and they win 86-56. Now it's on to Colton Gerhardt leading Vista Murrieta against his former team Norco in the other inland semi. But it was the Cougars striking first. Quarterback Victor Viramontes goes in for the 7-yard touchdown. Norco on top, 7-zip. The Broncos would waste little time to answer. Gerhardt to Daryl Denby. Count it! Vista Murrieta ties the game at 7. Gerhardt, also a great runner. It runs in the family. Keeps it on the ground this time. Some great power running. And finally, body slam to the turf. But that would set up this. Gerhardt hooking up with Colin Baker on the 10-yard score. And the Broncos pull in front 14-7. Meanwhile, Denby continued his monster game against Norco. Fields the punt for Vista Murrieta. And Denby breaks loose, 60 yards on the return for the touchdown, and Vista Murrieta goes on top 21-7. The Broncos defense also playing its part, doing work on D. Mazin Khalil and Tavita Monga corral Viramontes for the sack. The Broncos had plenty of horsepower on offense, including Tito Feliciano, 10 yards on the scoring scamper, 28-7 Vista Murrieta leading. The Broncos defense keeping the high-powered Norco offense in check. Mason Evans the sack, and he jars the ball loose, but the Cougars do recover. Still before halftime, Feliciano gets the call. 12 yards on this run to the house, 35-7 Broncos leading at the half. Second half, more Vista Murrieta. Gerhardt to Denby. You can't stop it! 60 yards on the touchdown. Vista Murrieta is headed back to the championship game for the 5th year in a row. 56-19 the final.
Of course it's going to be a very emotional game, but just like I said, it was going to be another game, and we came out just as good as we always have, and we prepared in the week, and the result was great.
The results don't lie. You're probably a little more fired up for this one, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course, there's a lot of flaring emotions, but I had to keep myself calm a little bit and just take it like another game.
So it's Centennial versus Vista Murrieta for the 4th year in a row, and this time the Huskies will be hosting the championship game on Friday. Meanwhile, in the Central Division, it will be the Rancho Verde taking on Heritage on Saturday for the Central title. The Mustangs meeting Kaiser in the semis, a rematch of last year's finals. First quarter, Sharon Jones finds Cedric Peterson for the big game there. And then it's Jones finding a wide open Peterson for his first touchdown of the game. The Rancho Verde takes a 7-zip lead on the Cats. Later in the first, it's Keyshawn Slaughter. Hashtag the Green-Eyed Dragon. Nice run there. And that would set up this. Jones to Cedric, the touchdown maker once again. The Jones to Peterson combo puts the Mustangs on top 14-0 to the second quarter. The Cats trying to claw back into this game. Quarterback Raymond Padilla. Everybody loves Raymond. The big run for Kaiser, and that sets up a Cats field goal to make it a 14-3 game. Later in the second, Slaughter gets the call, blows through traffic, and has a nice carry for the Rancho Verde. Later on that same drive, hello Jonesy hooks up with Marcus Young, makes it 21-3 Mustangs in the lead. Things did not get much easier for Kaiser. The defending champions fumble the ball here, and then later it's Young again as the Mustangs were once again driving down the field. It's Jones coming up under pressure, but still fires off this touchdown pass as the Rancho Verde led 28-3 at halftime. To the fourth quarter, the Cats fighting to the finish, but Padilla picked off on this pass. The Mustangs looking to capitalize. Slaughter finding the open hole here, gains some big yards as the Rancho Verde wins 35-3.
Man, it's so amazing. Like, you can't express how I feel right now. And we back at home, so I mean, right now, I'm kind of used to it because ever since I've been a freshman, we always make a CIF or we win it. So right now, the reaction is we got to go put in work, but at the same time, it's excitement because, I mean, everybody out here worked as hard as they can and just have fun, and we came out with a victory, thank God.
Heritage at home for Colony of Ontario. The Patriots last played in the CIF Finals just 2 years ago in 2011 in the Eastern Division. The visiting Titans would march down the field on their opening drive, and they would boot the field goal to go up early on Heritage. But here come the Patriots. Quarterback Brett Virgil calling his own number and takes off. Virgil 2.0 with a big chunk of yards right there. Same drive now, it's Lima High Hefo running the ball for H-Town down to the doorstep, and that would set up Sione Taki. Knock, knock, I'm home. Taki scores, and Heritage goes up 7-3. Each team got just one drive in the first quarter. Long sustaining drives. Now in the second quarter, Virgil picked off by Colony deep in their own territory, so the Titans convert on another field goal to make it a 7-6 game. Later in the second quarter, Heritage keeping it on the ground. Hefo with another strong run here. That's followed up by this play. Virgil squirting through traffic, and 8 is great, and he is only a sophomore. Same drive, Heritage on the Colony 32-yard line. It's Hefo time. Lima High gets to the sideline and darts to the paint. He said, "What's up, Uncle Pep?" before the game, and Heritage goes up 14-6. The Patriots looking for more before the half. Virgil once again doing damage on the ground. Another big run for the Heritage signal caller. Later on that drive, it's Virgil calling his own number, and he will trot into the paint. This one turns into a shootout. This was a close game for the first 2.5 quarters. The Heritage defense also stepping up with Colony going for the end zone. Lima High Hefo picks off this pass, and takes it back. 100 yards. Go ahead and do the math. That's a touchdown. Hefo, pick six, house call, 100 yards. Goodness. Isaiah Morrow nearly did the same thing. His pick six going 90 yards. Morrow with the touchdown. Heritage eventually pulls away to win big, 57-31. Now it's on to the Eastern Division as Vista knocked off undefeated and top-seeded San Gorgonio in the semis. So the Braves advance to their first CIF championship game, and they will host defending champion Citrus Hill on Friday. Citrus Hill was home for Moreno Valley in the semifinals, and the Hawks already up big at the half, 33-0. And when you play at Citrus Hill, you play for rings. That's what they do. The Hawks soaring in the third quarter. Brett Hollingsworth to DeJuan Dantzler on the TD connection. I see you, DeJuan. It's now 40-0. Citrus Hill on top. Riverside Poly star Akili Ross looking like a boss, watching this game and wishing his Bears were still playing in the semis. Citrus Hill still moving the ball in the third quarter. Hollingsworth dumps it off for Devin Floyd, who picks up the first down. And then later on that same drive, it's Hollingsworth to Floyd once again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Citrus Hill in cruise control at this point. The Hawks cap off this drive with a Hollingsworth touchdown run. Get in there. Hollingsworth and the Hawks rolling big time against Moreno Valley. The Hawks defense still going strong as well. Zach Kupka. The defense is real, yo. Citrus Hill would drive down to start the fourth quarter. The big play with this Hollingsworth to Justin Clarkston catch. Great play to haul in that ball, and that would set up this Hollingsworth touchdown run. Rolling out, rolling in. You know how they roll. Citrus Hill is back in the CIF Finals, winning 60-10. So the Hawks will defend their Eastern Division title on the road at Vista on Friday. In the East Valley Division, Jurupa Hills will take on St. Margaret's for the CIF Championship game. St. Margaret's defeating Big Bear 35-28 in overtime. The Spartans on the road at Western Christian in Upland for the semis. Third quarter, Western Christian quarterback Brett Hargis to Cameron Beck for the score. Western Christian led 33-26. Now we go to the fourth quarter. Western Christian coming up big time against Jurupa Hills. The goal line stop. But later, Jurupa Hills Christian Steele back to return this punt, and Steele looking like the man of steel. A Superman play here, and Jurupa Hills ties the game at 33 on the Steele touchdown. Later in the fourth quarter, Hargis going 11 yards to lead Orrin as Western Christian goes back on top 39-33. Now it's Jurupa Hills with the ball, looking for the tie-in or go-ahead score, but DJ Wright is picked off by Hargis, but Western Christian would not score on their ensuing drive. The Spartans get the ball back, but only 7 seconds left when Wright hooks up with Corday Roberts for the winning score. Jurupa Hills wins 40-39. Congratulations to the Spartans on a big win. They are headed to the championship game to take on St. Margaret's. So the finals are set, and please join us on Wednesday live at 5:30 for the Blitz, as we will have a very special championship game preview. I'm Pep Fernandez, and we will see you next time on HS Game Time.